Today we're checking out another projector, this time the GV31 by BenQ. I want to thank them for sending this over to review on the channel. We're going to see how this compares to the YABER Ace K1 projector. One thing that's a little different about this one, it can actually run on battery power for up to 180 minutes. So when it comes to the price of these two, the YABER Ace K1 is $499 normally, and BenQ is just a little more at $550, but you should be able to find both of these on sale for less. So I'll leave a link down below with current pricing and more information. As far as style and build quality, as you can see, these two are going to be quite a bit different. In fact, I don't know if I've seen too many projectors that look just like the BenQ GV31. It actually has a nice high-end look to it and really unique as far as the base and just how you angle it up and down. The YABER is a little more traditional, has a nice speaker-like fabric material on the top, and it also looks pretty nice in my opinion. But design-wise, I've got to give the advantage to BenQ. One other advantage with BenQ is the remote control feels a little more high-end and it's just easier to use versus the one that comes with YABER. Although good luck opening the battery cover on the back, I had to use a plastic tool just to pry it open. As far as connections go, YABER has the advantage here. You've got 2 HDMI ports, 2 USB, a headphone jack or auxiliary jack, and audio video jack as well. On BenQ, you've got 1 HDMI port, 1 USB-A port, 1 USB-C port. You've also got a headphone or auxiliary jack as well. One difference with BenQ, there is a spot on the inside with their Android TV device connected. Not sure if you'd be able to use other devices though. You also have more controls on the top of the YABER projector versus only a couple of buttons on the top of BenQ. So I've got to give the advantage here to YABER as far as connections and buttons available. When it comes to the speakers, just looking at these two, you would think, wow, BenQ actually looks like a speaker more than a projector, so it probably sounds really good. And yeah, it does sound better than I expected. It's got dual 4-watt mid-range tweeters and an 8-watt woofer to get really nice sound out of a smaller projector like this. And I do feel the sound quality is a little better than YABER, but with YABER, you've got a 15-watt built-in speaker, and when you put these next to each other, YABER sounds quite a bit louder overall. In fact, at halfway volume, it's probably louder than 3/4 of the way up on BenQ. So I think if you're choosing between these two, you may want to go with BenQ for sound quality, but if you want the louder projector to fill a much larger room, you'll probably want to go with YABER. Here's a quick sample of each, just to give you an idea of what they sound like. Now there's a lot of things to consider between these two, including what features they have and the software. Both are native 1080p resolution. YABER works best on a screen up to 150 inches. BenQ works best on a screen up to 100 inches. You can also use 2.4 and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi on both projectors. Both are going to have auto keystone correction and autofocus. Plus it's nice you can adjust both of them manually to get things just how you like. You'll notice YABER has a little more simple interface and home screen versus Android TV on BenQ. So this one may come down to personal preference. I know some people may like it that you don't have to connect an extra streaming stick or box with BenQ, since BenQ has their own streaming device on the inside. Now one big difference is going to be fan noise. You can notice it pretty easily on the YABER projector, where with BenQ, there's really not much fan noise at all. YABER might even be more than twice as loud as the BenQ projector, but you're also going to get Mirrorcast and AirPlay or iOS Cast on both projectors, so you can use your phone or tablet with both projectors, but you can also use an HDMI adapter on both projectors as well. Probably one of the most important things to consider is going to be the screen or picture quality. YABER has their projector listed at 650 ANZ lumens versus 300 ANZ lumens for BenQ. Now I'm no brightness expert here, but it doesn't seem like the YABER projector is twice as bright as BenQ in person, but it does in fact seem a little bit brighter. I also noticed that I had to put the YABER projector back a little bit further by a foot or so to get the same size picture as BenQ. So in a smaller space, BenQ definitely has the advantage there. You'll also notice a little difference in blacks and overall contrast. I feel like YABER has more contrast and darker blacks versus BenQ, but at the same time, sometimes it's hard to see detail in those darker blacks. Clarity and sharpness is actually better than you would expect on these two as well. One thing I did notice when watching Netflix or other streaming apps, BenQ seemed a little more color accurate and looked more natural versus YABER, which has a little more orange tint to it, but with contrast and color, it may just come down to personal preference. I feel like gaming was fairly close between the two on mobile games like Asphalt 9 and retro games like Punch-Out, but once I started playing Rocket League, it was pretty obvious BenQ was a little smoother. It seemed to have a little better gaming performance. You could also see some of the details in the darker areas, so it may depend on which types of games you're playing. BenQ did appear to have the slight edge with faster paced games. So as you can see, some things are better on one projector versus the other, but some may just come down to personal preference and may also come down to how large the room is that you're going to be putting this in, because I feel like BenQ is better for smaller areas and YABER is better for larger rooms. It may also come down to which one is having the better sale when you're ready to purchase, but I think both of these would be a good addition to your theater, game room, or office, regardless of which one you go with. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.